So SPY below 578 is to the downside, gang. Just be careful because it's bouncing around. This is the same spot it bounced last time.
That's their break candle.
There it goes. Yep, there it goes. Look at the volume come in off that buy. You see that? Double bottom bounce?
Yeah.
Save my ass, coach.
Yep, yep. That's dangerous at 578.
Coach, these options are bouncing wildly. I had my order way up there and it was all playing like 20% less and something reached up, grabbed it, and I cashed in.
Yeah, good. That's gamma. So you're going to get a lot of gamma movement, right?
Yep.
Or implied volatility is going to move a lot. So be careful. SPY again, 578. Watching for that. And NVIDIA sitting right on VWAP right now on the 2-minute. Let's see. Apple Apple. Starting to move to the upside. You guys are in an EWO to the upside, but it is choppy. Check out some of the guidance that you're getting from David. Make sure you guys are listening to him over there in the 2-minute EWO. He lives and breathes in Apple. He is the Apple Whisperer. Okay, there's that bounce off 578 on SPY. Again, double bottom area. Huge support.
Forming the head and shoulders now.
Yep. I see Ange over there getting it done. Doug over there getting it done. All the moderators. Yeah, our futures moderators over there just printing. Steve's over there in futures. Nice. William. Matt. Who'd I miss? Vanessa.
I see Bobby and I see Sally and I see dead people.
Christina, I see you're kicking butt again. I'd like to see that.
Thank you. I'm trying.
SPY off this big bounce again. 578 is the floor so far. So far, that is the floor. No, futures is not the same as Forex. SPY getting that move. Like I said, I could long this above 580, but don't do it early. You hear me? Wait for the break and hold of 580. And don't forget, you got that 200 staring at you once you break 580. But you do have about $1 move if you can get the break and hold of 580. But don't you dare. Don't you dare. Just try to get in that early, okay? This is all to the downside today, at least so far for SPY, okay? Do you hear the sound of my voice? NVIDIA coming up on a double top. Remember, I said I want to see that above 115.50. 115.50 is what we're looking for, the break and hold for NVIDIA to the upside on 115.50. There goes SPY again, respecting the 21 off of this one on this pull. Now, this is going to be the third time this has come down to 578. The more times this touches, the more likely it is to pop. So the more times we get down to 578, the more cautious I am if I think it's going to pop to the upside. So you guys know how you've been buying calls on support at 578? I would stop doing that right now. Do you hear the sound of my voice? I would not be buying calls at 578. Now I would look for a flush of 578 just because it's getting more and more dangerous the more times this touches, right? Checking my L2s. Yeah, this wants to flush. There goes payday. Do you see why we would not buy calls that time, ladies and gentlemen, versus before we would have? Now we are into the downside. Nice job.
How important is this tariff situation?
It has the potential to be the biggest economic story of our lives. People are losing a lot of money on tariffs, and you're probably a matter of weeks away from empty shelves. And there's a button on the president's desk that says, end it right now.
So can you tell me what a tariff?
Welcome to the Aftermarket. American Dream Trading. You have entered the Aftermarket. AmericanDreamTrading.com. Welcome. You are now in the Aftermarket.
All I have is one question. You got any grapes? Yeah. Cannot believe what I just heard. Anyway, anywho, welcome to American Dream Trading's The Aftermarket Live Chat and Watch Party. I'm your host, J&J Video Reacts, aka Dawn, or Dawn, aka J&J Video Reacts. It's the stream that's been created for you traders to just kick back, relax, and just talk about the market after the madness. Today we did futures, stocks, options, crypto, you name it. American Dream Trading does it. And we are owned and operated by Chad W. Christian, who's a 33-year stock market vet. And he has literally trained us to trade in every market condition imaginable, just like him, right? So whether the market goes up, down, or sideways, we know how to make money because we've been learning the right way. We don't chase call outs over here. You can join American Dream Trading by clicking the link that's pinned to the top of the live chat, americandreamtrading.com, and go over there and pick up a diamond membership, because right now the diamond membership includes all of the services. So it's kind of like buying in bulk, you know what I mean? But you're just paying a one-time fee of $5,000, and that gets you hooked up with all of our services. $50,000 worth of services is included in a diamond membership. Gold breakout room training, weekend training, VIP training starting at 4 in the morning if you want to trade pre-market. So get on over to americandreamtrading.com and click that button right now. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share, because we're trying to get close to 15,000 subscribers, and we're almost there, gang. 112 to go. We're almost there. 14,888. So we are right on the brink. So that's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool. When you say, Ange? Hello.
Absolutely. My God, I look like my mom.
You know what? So do I. And I freak out. My sister always tells me, you look just like Ma. I'm like,
oh my gosh. How funny is this? Like, for real. Holy hell, basket. You know what?
What?
It's okay. It's okay.
They're beautiful women.
That. Shoot.
Sometimes I freak myself. I was about to say, sometimes I freak myself out because I'll say something and it literally sounds just like my mother. Voice tone, everything. I'm like, what the hell?
And it's really funny how sometimes, like, depending on the situation, my mom will come out.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, I'll be in a completely different situation and my dad comes out.
Yes.
Two very different people, two very different situations.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Oh,
you're made up of both of them.
Oh,
well, my dad was the musician, so yeah, I definitely have him in there. But I had no agenda today other than just kind of maybe watching a few of the 2-minute EWO videos, so that I just need just to get into those for next week. I'm excited about doing some I think I'm switching over to ES. I realize I think I'm working too hard in M2K. After a week or so of trading that, I'm working too hard for the pennies. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
So,
I mean, the thing is with futures, we talk about this every single day when we have members who contemplate should they or shouldn't they try it, et cetera, et cetera. Especially for the seasoned traders, when you come over and you take the little nibble, you realize just how much you actually do know and how it can be applied just the same, even keel. We don't have to stress out about it. Make it bigger deal than what it is.
Yep.
And just hone in, and it's okay. We still have a lot of hesitation. There is so much hesitation within ADT, and I hear everybody, and I understand where everybody's coming from. But just put your little Danny DeVito toe in it, and just have an open mind and see for yourself.
Yeah, it is. It is so awesome. I love it. And I don't even think about stocks and options like this in the morning. I do L2 training, support and resistance, and all of that stuff, but I'm not actually trading. I have no interest. All I'm doing is counting down until the bell, so I can get in futures. So like, dude, it gives you a lot more freedom, and also a lot more chances to make better choices. You know what I mean?
I did not enjoy today. I didn't scalp though. I stayed true to waiting for EWO, and I could have punched a brick wall today. I was so annoyed.
Yeah.
I missed two really good opportunities. Just sitting here and I was looking at it. I had my one, so I have a plethora of screens. I had my one screen that I have 4 charts on that I follow that I watch for EWOs. And I actually, because it was so choppy and slow, I actually had put my email up here and I was cleaning out emails and I missed 2 great opportunities for EWOs and metals and indices. And after that, I was pissed because I'm like, damn it. And I know better, right? Like, and I struggle with staying focused. So I have to be very diligent about my time and how I spend it. But usually there's more bite for that EWO. So while I sat here and waited, I practiced scalping. I didn't actually go in and do a scalp to stay true to my goal for the month of May, but I was not happy. And it's fine, right? Like it's a journal writing opportunity for me to just remind myself that we just got to stay laser focused and stay in it, but you got to really stay focused. Otherwise you'll miss it like I did today. But it's okay. I don't have like FOMO or anything like that. It's just I hold myself to a higher standard where I know better. But I'm also, to be fair, my head's not all the way in the game today. And I knew that coming into this, and today I did not sleep well. We're getting ready to kick off senior week. So I'm stressed to the gills with getting graduation done this next week. So it was probably the market telling, my body telling me, hey, that's not trade today. Even though I wanted to like really dive in good with EWOs today and didn't, but it's fine. Got a lot of training to do this weekend though. You going to do some training?
Oh, big time. Yeah, I am big time. I heard Mark mention earlier about me being an M2K, and I didn't catch an EWO on that. Otherwise, I would have called that out. I got in that late. I was so busy messing around with what was the one I asked you about this morning that I did not like what happened with that? The hell was it? It was ether ether.
Oh yeah, ether. Yeah.
Nano ether. So I was messing around with that dumb crap and ended up missing. Who's calling me? Ended up missing the beginning of M2K. So I was like, and then I got in it and I started getting chopped up a little bit because I didn't get in it where the point was I could have sat in it. And then I started thinking, I just started looking at the numbers and I'm like, 50 cents a tick, whereas ES is $1.50 a tick. And they're both the same amount of money to get in the trade. Yep. So I'm like, you can lose more, but you're making more. 6 ticks, you're making $3 and you're just paying the fee and making $1.50. Whereas over here, you're making $13. You got the you got the fee paid plus you're making $10. So, it works smarter, not harder.
Absolutely.
So like switch, but you don't know that until, like you said, you dip your feet in a little bit at a time. You get to know some of the tickers and how they move and how they play and what you get paid and how that works. And then you realize, okay, yeah, I think I'm going to go here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah. And I even have, like over here on this screen, typically I have 4 charts, right? So I have 1 metal,
right?
One indice, because typically they all kind of go hand in hand, typically. I have 1 energy, which is crude oil. And then I have 1 oddball, which is usually the one that I'm educating myself on. So like right now I'm dipping in agriculture. So I'm watching corn. So corn fills that slot for me right now.
Okay.
But I have that set up because I don't do much with crude oil unless, it gets mentioned and then it gets thrown back up here. But I have those 4 and I watch, because I don't need to have all the indices. 1 is enough. I don't need to have any more than that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that's what I watch for EWOs. But yeah, I covered that.
That's what I'm gonna do this weekend. I'm getting on TradingView and I'm gonna practice scalping and doing EWO on ES.
Yep, that's good. It'll be good. I got lots of training to do. My son has a lot of training. He's overwhelmed. He got his Discord stuff figured out today, and he goes, "What?" There's so much here. I'm like, I know. I'm like, let's remember something here. You have this forever. I'm
Right.
like, and you will sit in one spot, in one spot only, and you will do everything that you were told. And we are not playing and dabbling in. You master this before you do anything else. But yeah, I'm a little bit of a hard ass. And then I told him, I'm like, professionalism here. Like let's keep this professional. And he goes, oh, it's kind of weird. You're my mom. I'm like, okay, then a mutual respect. How about that? And he's like, yeah, mutual respect. And then I got to give him a shout out now because he's the one that encouraged me to do the fidget spinner. So I got to give credit where credit's due. So while he reminds me every day, Mom, that was my idea. I know it was you. We can share that. Thank you very much.
Wow. It was Keith, y'all.
Keith
got us in the fidget spinners. That's awesome.
But yeah, lots of training this weekend, right? Like lots of training and keeping busy. I've gotta keep myself very busy this weekend and into next week and stuff, because next weekend I'm MIA after Aftermarket Friday. I am closing up shop for days, and I'm going to spend time with family that's in town for graduation, and gonna take it all in and gear up, and yeah, it'll be exciting. He's got a couple more days left of school, and and then it's
on and popping. Let me ask you this: you got any grapes?
What is this? What did I miss?
Oh, okay. So Bucko dedicated a video to me because Maria was the DJ this afternoon.
I missed this afternoon's DJ sesh.
And there's this weird duck song where he's constantly going up and asking people, do they have any grapes? And it's like a 3-part it's like 3 videos, and you just watch them, and it's just really goofy and stupid, but it's funny as hell. And Bucko dedicated it to me for obvious reasons, right? So we were all watching that. Yeah. So I thought you knew. Okay.
I wasn't in there this afternoon. I was Keith wanted me to do a quick walkthrough with him, and because it's so much information. He's like, what the hell? I'm like, don't panic, buddy. Don't panic.
Right.
You are feeling everything that everybody else has felt. I'm like, even as a moderator, there are days when I'm in the Discord and I'm like, there's so many lounges. There's so many places to greet people.
I know.
And I always forget something. And then, I try to post.
And leave it to Bruno to rearrange them so I can find nothing again. I'm like, oh, cool.
I went to go post the Aftermarket last week, and I'm like, where the hell is the VIP lounge? Where's the stock lounge? I'm like, yeah. So, and then once they get in that pattern, you get used to it. And then you just start dropping.
And then it changes again.
But you got any grapes?
That is so funny. That is so funny.
You gotta watch that. But yeah, so what are you doing this weekend, Maria? She there?
She's kind of there.
Yeah, what happened there? She might be going through a tunnel or something weird, but anyway.
Maybe.
Yeah, let me pull up the Evo playlist here.
I have to work on more Ewos.
Yeah, me too, because I find that my patience level is just not freaking there. I'm like, come on, Dawn, wait for the proper setups. I didn't do bad today, but I felt myself wanting to jump in and it's like, listen, you see that? That's called chop. Sit down, relax, So that's what I'm going to practice this weekend, is building my patience, just sitting and waiting for it,
That's great. Yep, I got to stay busy. I got to stay busy. This mama heart is...
Oh, that's another thing.
Having some feelings.
Schedules. I gotta create a schedule.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So that I'm just gonna have time slots, and just like the workouts, I'm just gonna insert things like editing. You know,
Yeah, you
maybe
got way more on your plate within ADT than I do.
I mean,
And that's not a cue for anybody to say, "Hey, you." I'm looking
yeah,
around.
no. But I'm gonna schedule things out so I get more done. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
I think
That
she
is
just came
fair.
back in. Because that's why I'm so freaking scattered and I don't get shit done. So I've got to organize. So that's what I'm doing this
It's
week.
crucial. It is like, if I don't have timers going on, like y'all hear my timers when I'm in the pre-market. There's one every like, but I have them all labeled for different things. Like they all, tell me what I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be doing, when I'm supposed to be doing it. If it wasn't for that, and they all have different sounds typically, because if it's the same sound, I just tune it out. Whatever. You stop hearing it. It's just like I change my sticky notes on my computers because, like, for my reminders to myself and things I have to change them because I stop seeing them. My brain just eventually it's like, oh, that's just a part of your screen. No, it's not, dummy. Take the green. You know what I mean? Like, for instance.
Yeah, I get that. I'm like, I have seriously got to set up a schedule, insert stuff in the time slots, and just go from there and stick to it religiously. Stick to it literally religiously. Because if I don't, it's not gonna work.
Have you ever used the like 4 quadrants for scheduling?
I've seen that. Where have I seen that? Tell me about that.
I mean, it's
What's all
popular. I think it's in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Maybe that's where I saw it.
Yeah, because it's like
Okay.
about like what really has to get done, like for sure,
Right, prioritizing.
no doubt.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, this has a little bit of forgiveness or leeway, and then this one is like, in the future, at some point.
Right.
And then
Right.
the other one's like, I hope to get that done. I would like to, if
Right.
5 times.
I think I'll listen to that chapter or listen to that this weekend and get with that, because that way I will get out a lot more videos. I will, get my apartment clean. Everything that I've been wanting to do, I'll stick in here and fit it in and get it done. So, and I know me, if I create that, I'll follow it to a letter. So, let's see, y'all. Getting ready for some weekend training. Hold on. Playlist, where are you? All right, there we go. Welcome, everybody. How you doing? Unhappily a housewife. What up, Arlo? F2, I see you.
Did y'all tell Ann where the grapes came from?
Yeah, I
So
told her
sorry.
Bucko dedicated the
I
video
just
to me. She's got to watch it.
Yeah, it's all Bucko's fault, Ange, but you should watch it. You won't just watch one, I promise.
Yeah, I'm going to watch them again. Where'd you get? They were on YouTube, right? I'm going to watch them again. J-Dog, what's happening? Diesel Dan. Mama. She wants to call me Ducky, a duck. My mom used to date a guy named Ducky. Vegan Knowledge, what's up, darling? Mayfield, open the help ticket, please. Oh, okay. All right. Ewo. Man, these fucking cars stink. Excuse my French.
Oh, Don, you should tell us how you really feel. We need to all get together and do some proactive thought work on like the book stuff.
You want to do that over the weekend?
I don't know.
Yeah, so I was thinking the same thing.
Over the weekend? Like maybe after David's class,
Discord, right?
we just kind of hook up on a call or something.
Yeah, we can all chat about that and later and stuff. But yeah, that way we can. Because I need to go back to the message in the moderators lounge and gather what was mentioned and stuff. So, I haven't done that yet, but I thought about that. Like that'd be good to get that going. Ooh, EWOs, squirrel,
Squirrel. Y'all are crazy. Okay, let's get her dead. Ewo versus scalping is the first one.
So let's look at this together. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
2-minute EWO, the buy was here, right? That's here. Then we have to ride the 25 to 40, or as long as it makes sense, stay in it. This is your move on the EWO, right? So no matter what, you're guaranteed money. That's what I made my money on too, by the way, is SPX, right? That's where I made my money. Same thing with you guys. Or you're in the scalp, which is here, which is 415.81. These are two different things. One, you're scalp trading. One, you're riding the 2-minute EWO. They are not the same, and they will never be treated the same. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm glad that you said that, because that makes sense. So the other ones are more scalping.
Correct.
And then the EWO.
Do you ever do what David does and scalp within the EWO?
At the same time?
Yeah.
No. But I do catch myself accidentally referring to being in an EWO, and technically I'm not. So I'm working on that.
I got you. I know exactly what you mean. We all do it. And
I don't even, it's not even that I do it on purpose.
Right.
It's just I don't know. It's something that
if you sit in something, it feels like you're in an EWO, but technically you're not, because you really didn't get in when you were supposed to.
Yeah.
To make
so
it an
I'm
EWO.
trying to be super careful with how I word things, because I don't want to confuse new people, but I know everybody does it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's a great point. But no, I haven't.
Oh, you'll be in it a lot longer.
That's right. Yep. Now your scalp can turn into forever, which is awesome, right?
Which is why we end up confusing it, because it feels like an EWO, but it really is just an extended scalp.
Yep.
Yeah, like on the NVIDIA this morning. If you
correct, but the time of entry is different.
Right.
That's the only thing that changes is the time of entry, right?
That's
so again, you would have been in here earlier off the 2-minute, because that's somewhere in this, right?
Yeah.
Where if we're waiting for the scalp, that's not till this line, and then you had the here and here and here and here. But if you were in the 2-minute, you didn't care about all those little goofy moves because you were in here.
Yeah.
And then you let it go, and you can see right here, it started to fade back, right? It riding the rocket ship, rolling down the hill. Directional change, VWAP, but you bought here, no matter what, guaranteed profit. Doesn't matter where you took it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
perfect. Thank you, Coach. That helped me a lot there. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at this, even here on this pullback, it's still way above your entry.
It is. Yep.
So it's like all of this choppy crap. That's why Coach gets pissed off, because it's choppy. But if you entered right, who cares? Because you got in down here, and there's no Greeks, so you don't have to worry about the pullbacks and not getting your money back. As long as you are here and it's way above where you got in, you are freaking golden.
Absolutely. And same thing here. So let's look at NVIDIA. So we already knew the scalp, because I said that all day off the 279. We'll look at the 2-minute though, right? Here's, oops, let me flip to 2-minute. Hold on. So right here on the 2-minute, same thing. Now, a lot of times you notice they'll kind of coincide with each other. So right here's the 2-minute. Somewhere on this candle it was, right? Which was, it just happened to be, they were the same thing. So if you entered the scalp at the same time as you did the 2-minute EWO, because they were almost hand in hand, well, now you can let them both go, because they never broke back below VWAP, which means you never had to worry, and you collect all the money from here to here, right? At any point. And that's how you guys will do it. But going small, let them run forever.
Timo.
Hey, Dawn, Ange.
What up, brother? How you doing?
What up? I finally figured this thing how to get on.
That's awesome.
Cool.
The restream.
Yeah.
Cool beans. I saw you backstage. I let you on in. Yay. So now come out and hang out with us more often.
No, I like to stay in futures and keep quiet.
This is the aftermarket.
Yeah.
You're not quiet in futures, Timo.
No, you are not.
No, it's a great group though. This I wrote this one down. I need to go back and like review this a bajillion times and remind myself.
Me too, for sure. I will put the link to it down in the live chat for you guys so that you don't have to search all over for it. So this is a playlist. The next EWO one should automatically come up.
If this breaks 244.76, the next pull is to 244.50, and then we're looking at the 243.97, right? Which is
that's huge though, because chart overrides EWO. You know, if you got levels, you got to be mindful of it. But then again, no, it doesn't.
That's what I was about to say. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, because if you're choppy and hitting levels, if you're in it right, we just literally said that.
It might provide a shedding like area or whatnot.
Yeah.
Right. But he would say if it doesn't break and hold VWAP, you stay.
Yeah.
By the way, 244, but we want it to go below it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. This is exactly, there it goes. There's your pull. Now you're through 244.76. Boom. Now you are through your 244.50. Boom. Now we're moving to 243.97. That is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Boom, shakalaka, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom, boom.
But listen, that big ass green candle.
We're at $244. So there goes Jimmy. You got a break. Now right here. Everybody, if you were holding on to these, right, we could take some off the table, waiting for a re-add below 244. Because 244 is a hard support. Now let me redraw this so you guys can see how much farther we need to go out and what it's going to look like. But didn't we say this right here? 243.97. We called it before it got there, right? Now hold on, it's breaking through, but I got to give you new areas. It's going faster than I can get there. It's gone. I mean, this thing could gap way down, Jimmy.
Well, let's go.
Yeah, we've got oh my gosh, 243.32.
So now it's going to go create another channel here, in my guess. I mean,
that is correct.
I act like I know exactly what I'm talking about.
No, it is. I just marked.
People that don't know me, I sometimes throw things out that.
Get out of here.
Here's another channel to go stair step down. It's not just going to drop significantly.
Right. I've got a mark.
Creates another channel here at 243.50 again.
Here's the next levels I got, Jimmy.
What do you got?
243.81, 243.32.
Sorry, squirrel. I don't know that I've ever seen this one.
An oldie but goodie, you know.
286. I love it. That's incredible.
Yep. And just, of course, be careful every $0.50, right? Every 245.50, like every 50 cents, of course, that's normal.
That's where I'm at, is 243.50 here. Break this sucker.
Yep. And then you should move to 243.32 if it can break 50. And then you got to move to 242.86. By the way, Jimmy, now we're moving down to, it already hit 242.86. Yeah, it touched at 243, which is a whole number. So we got to watch for that. And look at you guys on SPY. I had it marked at 447.14 on my screen before it got here. And guess where it stopped? I didn't even mark this from today. It's from previous. Look, if that breaks through, you're looking at 447 for SPY on the next level. Tesla, you're looking for the break of 242.86. SPY's crashing here. Crap, I just missed it. By the way, please tell me you guys are all making all this money.
Yeah, coach. You said it.
Thank you. I've been training instead of trading, so I hope to God. And look at that, Jimmy. Look at it stop, Jimmy, right at 86.
Break it.
There goes SPY,
There
still
we go.
continuing to crash. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is the biggest payday some of you will ever have in your lives right now.
I'm printing, coach. Thank you, man.
You're welcome. By the way, I didn't make any of those trades, but I am up $6,000 today, which is 22% on the account, just making a couple of small trades. I could have made all this, but I walked you guys through the whole thing, right? There is your SPY. It touched exactly at 446.93. Tesla touched exactly at 242.86. They're both marked on my screens. You can see exactly where they did it. Waiting for each one to make the next move. By the way, you on SPY, you've got the next resistance 446.26 and a hard resistance at 446.15. Be careful.
I put that one.
Now, then you have a choice. Obviously, you can scalp when it breaks VWAP to the downside. It doesn't stay up there very long. Then it pulls back, touches, pulls down. But I'm telling you, off of this trade, I shed when it pulls, right? Which, by the way, you would have made a ton here. I love doing that too, by the way, on giant pulls. I love to shed in there because it gives you the most amount of money because that is gamma. Gamma increases the price of premiums because it's like putting your foot down on the gas pedal, right? So when you get these giant pulls, I love to take some profit off during that because that's a huge payday, okay? But again, if you got in this move and it breaks back up to VWAP up here to the upside, I don't hang out with that. I'm not down with that, okay? Now, if you were watching down here, right, I always talk about watching the bottom of the ocean. You can see this was beautiful. See this just flying right here, though. See it starting to roll downhill? All of that telling you it's coming back, right?
Yeah.
So you can see it. And right, of course, there's your warning. You see your super trend warning saying, hey, man, we could be going the other way, too. So a lot of red flags saying, hey, this could do something. And then what you could do is, like I said, either wait it out, which I would recommend if you're doing the 2-minute EWO, which means here's your next buy. See it right there? It's somewhere in here. You get to ride this all the way up and wherever you decide to start making money. Do you see it? And that was off somewhere in this line. So even on a pullback, flat, pullback, flat. So you got 50, 20, 20, 10, and then decide what the rest does, right? So for those that are new, what I like to do is the market will tip.
So I put the link to the entire playlist down there in the live chat instead of individual videos. That way you can pick through and watch them over and over.
Typically look like this, okay? This is what a normal market looks like. This is bullish on an uptrend. If I buy my shares here or options, doesn't really matter. If I buy them here, okay, what I'm doing is every time it pulls back, I get rid of some. I always do 50%, 20%, 20%, 10%, and then I can let it ride. Does that make sense?
You had an X at 10:45. I was trying to figure out because only the wicks went over VWAP. And when it took that second candle underneath VWAP, I thought there's a trend. Let's jump on it. But maybe I'm off on my thinking.
Well, the X was right here. See this?
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
If you were on puts here and it broke and held above VWAP, right? This is my get out. Yeah, not this. This doesn't worry me, but this does. See all these candles?
Yeah. That's why I was wondering because it's just wicks above VWAP.
Yeah, that's nothing to me. Nope. Yeah, I don't care about that at all. Yep.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
Yeah, this though is full, right? That one, giant, that one. These are all way above VWAP. I don't do any of those. If you bought your puts here, right, and you're scalping off of that or you're shorting or whatever it is, right? When it does this and it pulls back, I could get rid of some just in case. just in case it then continues to go like this, right? So remember, every major pullback, which this is a major pullback, by the way, I shed. So that would have been 50%, which would have protected me had it done a full reversal, because now I only got half to worry about back up to where I bought. But then the other 50% did its thing, right? It pulls back. I get rid of 20 more. It continues that run. I don't like it. Continues. I get rid of the rest. This was your first trade. It went up, pulled back, get rid of some. Went up, pulled back, get rid of some. Went up, showed you it was changing. You saw it rolling down the hill. You could get out anytime you want. That was your first trade. You're rich.
Thanks, Arlo. Arlo's got a mentioning that there's an Evo playlist in the Discord for the premium people too as well.
Congratulations. Good job. You just made more money than you've ever made before. Trade number 2, right here, which is somewhere in here. Trade number 2 goes in, pulls back, get rid of some. Goes in, pulls back, get rid of some. Goes in, pulls back, get rid of some. 10%. Watching it going the opposite direction. Big
J-Dog, you can ask questions. That's what it's for. Go ahead, bud.
Flag. I wouldn't blame you if you got out, but here's the biggest thing on this one you need to pay attention to. This is the biggest part of what I teach all day, every single day. Did this break VWAP and hold at any point ever throughout the entire day? Ever?
No, and that's what I was going to ask, Coach. If it doesn't break VWAP, it seems like you could stay in.
You're supposed to stay in it, right? Not seems like. What do I train you all on?
Yeah, I should have said absolutely stay in.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely. Yep. So again, trade number 1 and trade number 2, which will take you through the rest of the day. Congratulations. That's it. You had 1, 2 trades on all the Power 7: Amazon, Nvidia, SPY, probably Netflix, Google. If we pulled them up, you would have bought here. Your stop would be at or above what you paid. There's no way in hell you would have ever got stopped out. You would have stomached through all of this, waiting for, obviously the move where it's showing the reversals. You would have got into the second trade. Again, you would have left it alone. You would have not touched it again, and then you would have been a hero. So I need some of you guys, listen, and I know it sucks because everybody wants to make money, right? You just want to make money, make money, make money, make money. Stop. The P&L's got to go away for a bit while you're training.
That is true as hell. You cannot look at your P&L. It's like you almost have to walk away from the trade, not to babysit it. But you don't want to really do that.
I need you guys to get through these trades exactly like I say, so that you guys will actually make money later. So instead of making $15 today, let's go ahead and make $150,000 later, because you can make the trade the way you're supposed to. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's the long-term play, Coach.
Absolutely.
Very much so.
Yes,
sir. It's the way you were training yesterday.
Yes, we have to stop with the crap about trying to make the quick $30,000, $100,000, because guys, at the end of the day, if you do what I'm saying, these payouts, right, are double, triple, 10x your account stuff in a day with minimal risk. Okay. Most of the time you have no risk, which is insane. If you bought this, right, and you let it pop up and you leave it alone and you set your stop at or above, I always recommend just a little bit above. That way, if it pulls really hard, it will at least be a break even. This is a break even trade, literally break even. even if you stomached it and it went all the way up and all the way down, I would have been so much more happier with your trade. I mean, obviously, once it breaks through VWAP and holds, you'd have got out, but still, you would have made money here to here, right? And you would have made the trade instead of, I want out, 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 I want out. Oh, I made $6. Oh, I made $3. I made $2. I made, oh, stop that, because what'll happen is you keep getting yourselves into that mindset. And then when you get this real runner, right? This is the game-changing run on, oh my gosh, on SPY. Comes up.
Tell me that's not what we just talked about. That's what we're doing. We keep doing that. At least I do.
Up, comes up, comes up, comes up, comes up, comes up, and it drops. And every time you guys are wanting to run for the hills every single time, when honestly, if you would have bought here, hell, you could have left it alone till close and you would have made more money than you've ever made before if you guys would stop trying to get $10. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if this is your trade, get rid of, get rid of, get rid of. You still have 10%, right? This is 50%, 20%, right? We do it on the pullbacks, 20%. You still have 10% because it would get you to like be able to hold this thing. This is why I tell you guys, hold the damn trade. Stop touching it. Quit dinking with your stop losses. Leave it alone. Who cares if you would have made $50 today?
Right.
Don't you feel like he's like peering into your soul right now?
Yep.
A $600
Yeah.
runner.
Definitely. I'm like, damn, he is just straight up in it. Like he knows what we're doing because he did it.
Exactly.
He knows exactly what we're doing.
And now Apple new low a day. If you guys stomach through these moves, we don't panic. This is one pullback, right? So let's review this right now for everybody. And by the way,
This is gonna be good.
your Apple call lotto is printing big time now. Let's look at Apple. Let's go off the 2-minute.
Look at that.
Apple off the, and then I'm going to leave you guys. Apple off the 2-minute right here. That was somewhere in this candle, right? Don't know where. You just say the bottom. Don't know. Doesn't matter. It comes down, pulls back, get rid of half. 50. Goes down, pulls back, get rid of more. Goes down, pulls back, get rid of more. Now you're on the last run. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Makes sense to me. It's exactly what I did. Yep.
Still at 200% on my last 2 calls.
That's awesome. And this is what's cool. Think about this. Now
He
you have
was
10%
already
left.
playing Apple. Listen to him.
Yep. Even if this decided to come back, it's only 10% of your original trade. Even on a giant return like this, it doesn't take hardly any of that money away from you. You've only got 10% of the weight that you had going this way, right? So this is 90% of the weight going down, right? For your profit, because this is a put. And now when it comes back, only 10% of it, only 10% is coming back against you. Does that make sense?
I just realized how much money I've lost over the past months
Oh
by
my
not doing
God.
that because I would have.
Wow, Lee. That is a voice from the
Blast
past,
from the
right?
past, right?
Wow. And you didn't get to meet Lee. Lee was cool. Lee was the only one in here 2 years ago, dipped into futures. And he was, I love futures. I love futures. And we didn't really, coach didn't really buy in. He I mean, you know, we didn't buy. It's like, okay, Lee, great, fantastic. And then he, something happened where I think he started getting maybe over trading or something, and it started going against him, and he didn't want to do futures anymore. But Lee was in here doing futures and killing it.
I would have
So
taken it
Ange is
all on that
gone.
big red
She had
candle.
to dip, but Ange
Okay.
had to dip out. But Lee was doing the newsletter too, right? Before Mark?
He was, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
After the 2-minute.
Correct. And we don't do that, right? This is why I've been talking about this.
Yeah.
Until you guys get it, until it makes sense. And Lee, you're a perfect example.
And social media, posting on social media. He was the social media manager too.
That I train it every day, but until you guys are willing to accept it or apply it, it doesn't do you any good. And then one of these days you will do it, it will click, and then it will be a thing. And then you'll be able to add on to the thing you just learned. So it will all start to.
Yeah, I just thought about that actually. I could have added on after getting rid of those, I could have added on again on that second rundown.
That's correct. You can always add when it's going in your favor. So this is kind of like a Rubik's Cube, right? The more pieces you guys start to put together, right? Oh, I got one side all one color. Then the second side becomes easier. The third side becomes easier, right? Like it gets easier and better. You get more vision. It starts to make sense. Then you can take all of this, apply it to other strategies that we're using, because now Lee has it locked in. Now it makes sense. Now he understands what I mean every day when I'm saying shed. Now you start to get it. And now you've got a tool that you can use forever, Lee, right?
Yeah, and I'd just say one thing. You're absolutely right. Once you do it, right? Once you've done it, you've done it. And it takes a while sometimes for stuff like that to sink into my brain. But here's the other thing, guys, is, and Coach might disagree here, or he might not, but I had an idea. I wanted to do this today because Coach has been drilling it into us. But I didn't use the highest strike price, the one in the money. I went one out because I wanted to make sure that my sizing wasn't going to scare me away from doing this. So that was the best strategy for me at that time to learn that.
Yeah, it was good. So position size. So our
I actually remember that morning when he said that.
And the good thing about futures is there's no delta, right? So even if that's why I love it so much. I mean, because I was down on with the options, because when it goes against you, options goes against you, right? So as soon as I joined futures, oh my God, what a difference!
Yeah.
I mean, when it goes up, like even with the 2-minute Eagle, when it goes up back towards VWAP, you're not worried about it, right? Because you're not losing anything. And as soon as it goes back down, you gain $1, you gain $2, whatever. It goes down against you, you lose $1. So yeah.
It's dollar for dollar.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about
I agree
it.
100%. It's just like shares in that. I mean, except for that you could lose more than you put in if you're not careful, or if you don't put a stop in, but don't be dumb, you know?
Go below what your margin is for that trade.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you put a stop in. Right. Don't be dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just like shares as 1 for 1. Like there's no delta, no Greeks.
Right. And you got margin. Get started with our weekend gang. Oh, we got somebody else in here. Hold on 1 second. Or I thought we did.
I wonder if Lee's still trading, because he said, I think when he left, he had to take care of his family member or something, right?
Yeah,
I wonder
his
if he's
wife.
still trading, yeah.
I wonder too. I don't have his personal information. I wish I could check in with him because he's not, he's not on, like we can't DM him anymore.
I hope his wife is okay. I hope she's well.
I do too. I do too. I really do.
The SPY's about to flip on the 2-minute EWO. SPY is now above VWAP. SPY broke this original trend line. SPY bounced exactly when we said at 439.39. SPY has not come back. It's broke through our critical level and held a 440. It's moving up.
See right there, though. If you got in here, you made so much money. Go ahead and get out. Take your shit. Don't even, or at least leave. If you're gonna leave a runner, maybe leave one runner. But right there, I would take my green. I mean, that's a long run to get paid on.
Well,
moving up to the 200. The 200 is
and you're coming up on a double top, so yeah.
Yep.
To be your next level of resistance to watch for. And look at all of that. All of you knew exactly when, how, and what to do with this trade all day today, right? Glorious.
Hey, Coach, the one thing that really comes to mind when I see this is a lot of times I just try to trade because I think I need to trade rather than waiting for the setup.
Right.
And when you see the setup,
that's
I mean,
crazy.
you only need to make a couple of, if you would have just made the ride down on Apple and this ride up, you're done for the day.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You keep going through, I need a trade. I want to trade. I got to get it. I got to do something. And it doesn't work.
That's correct. Yeah, you're better to wait. This is why I always say you're better to wait for good quality setups. And by the way, that's why we do the 2-minute EWO. There's no better quality setup. I don't care. There isn't, guys. There isn't. There has never been. If there was, I would use it. There isn't one. There's never been one better. So if you use that, look at what it did. I mean, look at SPY on the 2-minute. Look at it. Right? Your buy is somewhere out of the gate, all day down. Now we're starting to get a color reversal, waiting for the second one to be larger than the first. Re-entry to the upside. Now we know, because I'm a master scalper of this area, so we already knew the bounce. But still, if you're just going off the 2-minute EWO, this was the first one you're in, right? Get rid of half on a pullback, right? 50, 20, 20, 10, whatever. Collect your money in here or let it keep going, right? It's all up to you guys. But either way, no matter what, it's a profitable trade. And what more could you ask for than having the profitable trades all the time?
Nothing.
And I
Not
told
a damn thing.
if you guys can get in at the right time, you've already beaten 80 to 90% of all professional day traders. If you can get in at the right time, you've already beaten all of them. And by using this strategy, you will consistently beat the shit out of all of them. You just have to do it right.
Yeah, entry is everything for sure. Entry, if you have the correct entry, the exit becomes easier as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But if your entry sucks, you know what I mean? Because you're stressing the whole time because you got in too late or whatever, and you're like, oh god.
And if
the
you
whole way.
know how the EWO works and you got in too late, then you're scalping. So you're constantly in and out, in and out, in and
Right.
out, in and out.
It's
So
just
it's
not
like,
a good feeling. It sucks. Like, I don't like for my heart to beat fast. I just really don't. I prefer mellow, and a good entry will keep you mellow. I mean, you shouldn't be like just chilling, eating popcorn, with your feet up, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little breathing
Exactly.
room is nice.
And 2-minute EWO gives you that.
Absolutely.
If you get in right and let it ride out, you're not hemming and hawing, like Coach said, getting in and out, getting in and out, getting in and out. And then with futures, you're paying fees now when you do that. So
Well,
those
you're
fees
paying
are going to add
fees
up.
too on a contract when you buy an option. They're just not.
Yeah, but not like $1.
Yeah,
and some
you are
shit,
though. I mean, they're kind of expensive. I mean, you just
Not
don't
really.
feel it. Like 75 cents.
Yeah, but okay, so the round trip though, in and out, like $1.50. I guess it would add up.
Right.
But you don't really see it like you do with futures.
No, you
Futures,
don't. That's what
that'll
I'm
chop
saying.
your shit up.
That's the difference. And if you're buying and selling at market, so today I did all limit. Like watching the L2, watching the 55, because that's where M2K was bouncing off of. And so I would put my buy there. And if it comes to me, cool. If it doesn't, cool. When it did, I made great money. You know what I mean? But it was
so you did waiting in the weeds?
Yes.
Nice. Look at you.
It was a thing. You did it the other day. You told me about it.
Yeah, in the hot stock picks.
No,
I haven't done that.
You did it in futures the other day.
I never did limit. I've been doing turbo.
Yeah, they're gonna fuck you on market. Oh, excuse me. They're gonna
Dude,
screw
no,
you.
they are.
It's so bad. And it's fine if you're up enough. Like, but if you're only up 12 ticks, you're probably gonna get 2 ticks. 2.
Right. I'm seeing that shit. See,
Yeah.
this is good though. I'm working the bugs out these like last week and this week. I'm working more and I'm learning that shit. So yeah, you are absolutely right. I will be doing that next week. I'm glad we had this discussion.
Right.
I'm glad we had this discussion.
I was just watching and I'm like, it keeps bouncing off the 55. Okay, where's the 55 at? So I would put it in. Of course, the 55 moves, right? Like it's not a stagnant position, but I can slide my entry up also. And so I would just slide my entry up or down if the 55 moved. And then that's where I would get in. And I did mark it out, but at least I limited in. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right. You got a good buy-in. So because on that market in, I'm like, how am I $10 down? I'm like, today I was like, what? How am I $13 down? I just got in this shit.
Right.
So now I say,
Yeah.
okay, I got you. Well, I knew that, but
well, I know, but it's like
in futures.
So here's what I was thinking about, Dawn. Remember how we talked about like when we first got to futures, every shit was like so golden and it was amazing, and then like day 2 we were like, what happened? This was so easy because you know what, we forgot everything we had been doing.
You're stupid. You're so stupid.
But I'm for real. We forgot what was getting us green, like the tactics, the game. We forgot that they will take from you every chance you give. Like you cannot give them that opportunity. I used to do the same thing for my contracts. I never marketed in on a contract. Are you kidding? I'd buy it bid or mid or ask. Never market.
Right.
Yeah, but honestly, does it really matter the fees, especially if you break, you're one tick above the fees every time? You could
I
have
agree.
like
The
1,000
fee,
trades,
I'm not even
right?
talking about the fees, Timo. I'm talking about market buys.
You're talking about slippage when you
Yeah.
get in, how you're like down $10 when you get in. It's like, what the hell's going on? I'm just getting in the trade and you're nowhere near where it is. They put you somewhere where you're like negative. So you do a limit and tell them what you want to pay to. You set the limit.
You can do bid and you can do ask too, right, Timo?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I tried that limit too, and I didn't like it. I rather I'm like in and out, like just like Mark, but I do set my stops and I move it up if I have to right away. So I don't
you
have a
don't
problem.
find that you're getting eaten up with spread?
Only by a couple ticks, not by that much. I noticed that within like the past week or so, when it paused, right, when the candle paused for a little bit at like say 15 ticks. And I clicked it. It did drop me down to about 6 or 7, when it finally cashed me out.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's because of that I have it linked between TradingView, and it takes a split second before it makes the move over to Webull.
Right.
Well, I tell you what, I'm doing it on my phone, and that's the fastest way you can trade, and it still does it.
So I get in on Webull on limit, and then I get out on TradingView. So I don't know. I can, because you can slide your stop a lot easier on TradingView for some reason. But yeah, I just don't. I know how I trade. I like to pick my precise entry, like, because I know I chart enough. Like I know where it's coming or where it's going to breathe back to, and that's where I want to get in. I don't want to get in the middle of a big ass candle.
Right.
I want to get in when it's breathing back up off that candle. I know better. I want to get in on the 9, not halfway up off the 9.
Right, and that's what market's doing.
Right.
I noticed that when you slide your stop up to like whatever, say, just enough, whatever you need, when it comes back down and hits you, there's no slippage there. I haven't seen any slippage there. But if you cancel out your position, there will be slippage. I've seen that many, many times. So what I've been doing is I've just been sliding it up, and then that way when it comes back down, and then it'll sell you out at whatever you want.
Yep, same thing. That's exactly how I get out. But getting in, I'm buying in at limit.
Yeah.
Because I'm planning my entry, but I feel you, Timo, like on a breakout, like that's awesome. But I also know that a breakout is going to breathe back. It just is. Like it's not, I've never seen a breakout not breathe back to a good entry position again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I heard it from somewhere, maybe on one of Coach's videos or from one of the moderators, that most of the time when you do get in, you'll see a negative trade right away. But I don't know where I heard that from.
That's a lot of times on the 2-minute EWO. After the crossover of the 9 and 21, for some reason it when it signals the EWO, for some reason it just has like this. Yeah, that's not unusual at all. No, you're right, 100%.
Honey, did you really put the grocery list in the chat?
But
No,
not
she did
necessarily
not.
on a scalp. You know what I mean, Timo? Like that shouldn't happen.
It happens to me. Maybe I'm just entering it just a little bit too late. Maybe
It's the
when I want to breathe
market.
back
It's
or
the
something.
market.
Yeah.
They're gonna screw you. They're giving you a little bit above where it's at right this minute. And yes, if you get into a great, this bird is so loud. I'm sorry. If you get into a great scalp, you're gonna make that back. But
I do hear it.
you hear it? Lord have mercy.
I normally don't hear your background, but I heard it that time.
But if she thought I was buying the groceries. Anyway,
yeah, I'm like, she put the grocery list in here. Why didn't you just text it to me? You're so crazy.
But yeah,
Do a grocery registry.
If I'm in a comfortable position and I get in, I'm down, $2 or 2 ticks. That doesn't stress me out. But I just really like to pick my entry. I just do, and that's how I trade. And it's worked for me for a lot of years. And then for some reason, I got into futures and thought I had to do something different, and I don't. And that's all I needed to know. I can just be me. But do what works for you. You know what I'm saying? Do more of what's working for you. Don't, everybody has their own little style and twist,
I'm definitely going to do limit buys. I'm definitely waiting in the weeds, and I'm gotten better at looking at the L2 with it. Just like Mark will talk you through it. It's like I'm waiting for the 2s, and then the 1s, and then and then the 9s, and and I see what he's looking at because I'm used to looking at the L2. So pick an area and set that up. So
right.
yeah.
So I just saw like this. I think it was like 18 or something, which is high in futures for some reason. And I was like, oh, okay. She said her phone died. She was going to email it, but she posted it here by mistake. Okay.
She's talking about the grocery list?
Yeah. But I was like, okay, this 18 order keeps flashing at the very bottom. And there was nothing on the bid side that was like near that. You know what I mean? Or yeah. And so I was like, okay, I'm putting it at that. And then I can slide it from there. It's still a limit order that you're sliding. Like you're not sliding a market order. You're not you know what I mean? So still gonna get filled where I slide it to.
Right. Have you ever tried doing crypto on it? Dude, I tried Nano Ether this morning and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Okay, so I also tried the Nano Ether. The volume just sucks butt.
I was like, where's the money? All of a sudden
I
was like $30
BIT.
down.
I like the Bitcoin one better. It has more volume. I've actually made like $40 and on that one. I haven't made any money on the Ether one.
Huh.
But I haven't I made like $2.60, but let's be real. But I guess on $30, that's not bad return on investment. It's like 8%. Okay.
Right.
Go ask your bank for 8%. Okay.
Right. Wow. Well, I'm dying to get on to some practicing. I'm going to go ahead and shut everything down. I'm going to start practicing like right now because I want to come in Monday with my game face on. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll talk to you this weekend.
Let's do that. Let's get together because I have a couple suggestions or hopes.
Sounds like a plan. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. Everybody down there in the chat. Timo,
thank you for coming up here.
All right, thank you.
Stranger,
I'll probably see you guys tomorrow in the Saturday class.
Most definitely.
Best be there.
Speaking about that, everybody don't forget, David's got everybody that's in the gold, David's got his Saturday gold training. It's like a one-on-one with David every single weekend. Make sure you're there, 11 o'clock.
even though
Eastern
he's in
Standard.
Orlando, halfway across the country from where he lives,
He'll do it on
this
vacation.
man is
He don't
still
care.
gonna come and treat us.
Yep.
He's so
Because he
crazy.
loves the
Love
group and
him.
he loves trading. He loves the group and he loves trading. All right, y'all. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. Peace and blessings. Maria, love your face. Timo, love your face. Everybody down in the chat. Bucko, do you have any grapes?
Please follow the rules. Nobody go rogue. Some of the rules that we have to and live and die by in here is do not lose more than 1 to 3% of your total account value in any given day. Make sure you have stop losses on each and every trade, regardless of shares and or options. Make sure you guys are practicing small base hits. Don't go for home runs. Allow the runners to run and stop out the losers. If you're a new trader, make sure you are paper trading using a simulated trading system such as Webull or some of the other ones that are out there. If you are an expert trader, please make sure you also are being careful the first 3 minutes and the last 8 to 9 minutes of the day. Those are the absolute most volatile times in the entire market. Also, if you're a newer trader, please don't trade in the first 30 minutes or the last hour of the day. Those are the most dangerous times.